A brand new series following the inline speed skating Grand Prix across Europe. This is Bladerunners, and this is Rome. It's a city renowned for its beauty, architecture, austere art, and high culture. And that's not all. Bladerunners will be focusing on marathon speed racing, but there's obviously more to skating than that. As well as trick skating, Rome is also the venue for the 100-metre sprint challenge. Skating is diverse, with marathon racing the ultimate test of stamina and endurance. The most decorated athlete in the sport, with 36 world titles to his name, this young Texan is definitely one to watch out for.
Hi, I'm Chad Hendrick. We're here in Rome, Italy at the Colosseum, and gladiators used to fight here, and that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow for the first race of the season. I came here so many times and never taken any pictures, so that's one of the things I'm going to do this week and learn a little bit more about Rome and what it is. I was in a car accident when I was 5 years old. We hit a drunk driver, and a couple of my family members almost lost their life. And I've got a couple scars on my face here to prove it. But ever since then, I've been a little scared of a couple of things, being high in the air or driving. I get a little nervous sometimes, but people always ask me why do I do what I do for a living, going such high speeds on rollerblades, because they think I'm crazy. And it's because I'm in complete control. If I wasn't confident that I was going to stay on my feet, this isn't what I'd be doing. My coach is my father, and he's been my coach ever since I was 5 or 6 years old, starting into speed skating. And he's the reason why I am who I am. I hate to lose in anything I do. The motivation that I have towards the sport is really good, and it's something that I think no one else has. I put in the hard labor it takes to be the best, and I want everybody to know that I do work hard to be where I am. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Man, Italian women are great.
Where are we looking? Where are we looking?
What do I think about Italian women? I can't say that.
Yeah.
My name's Chad. What's your name? Lorena?
Yeah.
My girlfriend might see this. Like I said, it's a lot of hard work, but you meet a lot of good people. You get to travel all around and have a good time, and do what you love to do to make money. And there's nothing better in the world. According to the tourist book here, this is the Bocca della Vierta, and if you tell a lie, it supposedly bites your hand off. So I'm going to ask it a question. Am I going to win tomorrow?
Racing is about teams, and teams rely on tactics. Here's how to fulfill the need for speed.
Skating close is the name of the game. Watch the skaters from Team Rollerblade as they tuck in behind each other to benefit from the reduced wind resistance. At 45 kilometers an hour, you're using up to 25% less energy than the skater in front. The faster you skate, the more you benefit from drafting. If you want to break away from the pack, you have to make an attack. Watch the rollerblade skater skate from the back, making the attack. Use an element of surprise, attack on a hill or even on a descent. Timing is essential, but just remember, where there's an attacker, there's always chasers. Team skating is the name of the game. Watch Team Rollerblade as they use the skater dressed in black to drop the opposition, the back marker. While the opposition's being held up, the other skaters take turns increasing the speed, leading out their top skater. Notice they use the skater dressed in black to drop the opposition.
The vivid sound of reality itself.
Pick your moment. Timing is essential. Then skate as if your life depends on it. The sprint, it's spectacular, fast, and usually left to the very last.
That's not the way this record is supposed to end.
Welcome back to Blade Runners and the first leg of the Play Life Grand Prix 2000 in Rome. As the athletes prepare at the start line, let's have a look at the course diagram. It's a figure-of-8 course covering 42 kilometres. The top section is represented by the blue line, which is appearing now, and that will take the athletes north up towards the Piazza del Popolo. It's 12 kilometres this first section, and the athletes will complete this just once. As you can see, the streets are very cobbled, which might present some problems this morning. And then the athletes will head down south towards the bottom end of the figure-of-8 course. This is appearing in red, and they'll complete this 8 times. The athletes head down towards the Colosseum, and this is a very technical part of the course because this is where they can build up speed, and once they've built up speed, they can also rest up a little. The wider streets also give the athletes opportunities for some team tactics and some change in leadership. And after 8 laps, this will be their vantage point as they head up towards the last bend and into the finish line. Joining me now is our commentator Adam Giles.
Thank you, Susanna. And they're off. It's 42 grueling kilometres ahead of these skaters. We've got 80 of the world's elite inline speed skaters, both men and women, representing 10 nations. Now, we've got 7 teams in total. Probably the teams to look out for today are Team Rollerblade in the silver suits and Team Fila Verducci in the red and black. And already we've got a bit of movement here from Team Solomon. That's Shane Dobbin. He's only 20 years old and from New Zealand, and he's starting to make a bit of a break here.
It is still very early on in the marathon. Will teams have decided already who will be their leaders?
Yeah, they'll certainly have a game plan, and if you've never seen the sport before, it's very similar to cycling in its tactics and its sort of makeup. And these guys would have got down together, would have sat down together and decided who's the strongest today and who's going to go up for the win and who they're going to take up for the win. So they'll be working around that individual. I noticed there in 3rd spot for Fila, that's Chad Hedrick, the current world champion. And here we are with the women. In fact, they've just gone onto the back of Carmelo. He's a back marker from the men. That's Ashley Horgan in the silver suit of Team Rollerblade leading. And Rollerblade in the silver suit here leading the men's. That's Jorge Botero. He won here last year in Rome, so he's got to be one of the favourites.
Rollerblade's Botero is a very big athlete. Will strength be more important here than stamina?
Well, inline skating is a funny thing. You need a combination of attributes, really. You need to be not only fit and have a lot of stamina, but also have that sprint and that strength as well. We're just looking, we've got a bit of movement from Team Solomon in the yellow and black, just starting to pick up the pace. I can see that they're trying to keep together Team Solomon. They're very much a tactical team. And here we are back with the women, and still Ashley Horgan of Team Rollerblade. And notice one of the pro skaters there in the green and blue in 2nd spot.
There seems to be less action with the women. Is that because there are fewer team breaks?
Well, there's not so many women as the men as well. The field is smaller, and they're sort of keeping things together. They're not really sort of extending themselves at the moment. But the men there, I think there's a few more hotheads. There's people who want to try and keep the pace up, and they want to keep it moving. They know if they keep it really slow, it's going to give a lot of opportunity for the sprinters in that last couple of K. So here we are at the end of that first 12K out leg, and just looking down at the time here, it's going to be around 10:30, and that's going pretty fast. These guys are skating around sort of 45Ks at the moment, so they're not hanging about. But we're now at the start of those 8 consecutive laps now around the old city, and back with the women there, and They're still following that back marker, Carmelo, and I think they're getting a little frustrated behind him at the moment.
That's Ashley Horgan for Team Rollerblade up there in front for the women. Do you think she's going to be their sprinter today?
I think so. I think Rollerblade have lined her up to take that final sprint. But here the women are just coming to the end of their out leg, and that's just over 12 minutes, or 12 minutes 15 seconds for them. So they're going a little slower than the guys here, but they're keeping it together.
They're going past the Coliseum now. This is the tactical part of the course.
Yeah, I think a few of the skaters will be thinking about making a break here because it's extremely fast down this section of the course. They'll be reaching speeds of around sort of 45 kilometres an hour, probably a bit faster than the public transport here today.
Back with the women, they're going past the Coliseum for the bottom section of the figure of 8 course.
Yeah, that's Team Rollerblade in the silver suits out there in front. And now we're here with the men on this second lap, and it's Team Solomon. I think that's Dobbin there out in front there being drafted by Jorge Botero. And in 4th spot, that's Chad Hedrick. Just in front of him is Jiquel Arnaud of Rollerblade as well. So a bit of a breakaway here, something might happen.
Wider streets, are they better for a change in leadership?
Yeah, it allows the skaters to actually make a move and also pass as well. But just going back to the women here, that's Barberton of Team Roches out in front. She's 25 years old, bit of a veteran on the inline speed skating circuit. And we've got the Rollerblade contingent there looking fairly strong.
They are actually looking quite intimidating.
Yeah, I was speaking to Alan Negre, their team manager, earlier on, and he is very confident about this young team, especially the women, and I think they're going to do some real big things today. Just notice here as they're drafting each other, it's quite a steep sort of descent here. They're just putting their hands on each other's backs there to stop them going into each other.
Smile from Chad Hedrick there from Fila Viducci.
Yeah, Chad's looking pretty confident, but he's going to have to be careful. We've got a bit of a two-pronged attack here from Team Solomon and Rollerblade. But I don't think these guys are going away. All the time now, just notice everybody's trying to make a break. Teams are trying to get away and trying to place somebody away from the main crowd. Notice the skaters here coming around Piazza Venezia are actually skating on those paving slabs. Those slabs are a lot smoother than the cobbles. It's going to be a lot easier and a lot quicker and far less dangerous skating on them.
It's looking quite overcast.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't rain because it's going to be like an ice skating rink out there on that road if it does. Let's not forget that usually cars are travelling up and down this road. There's lots of oil on these cobbles, also rubber as well, and that combination with water can make it very slippy indeed. So here we are at the end of that second lap, and the time 6:17, so they're going pretty quick at the moment.
There aren't any cars on the road because it's actually an Eco Sunday, so they've closed the road to traffic, which is obviously quite helpful for this inline skating event.
It certainly is. I'm just noticing those girls as well are actually skating on that paving slab. They're making the most of that. Herrero's done a lot of the running here. She's skating really hard. She is the current world champion. She's got to be the favourite for this event. But I can't help but think that she's probably done a little bit too much work there on the front, putting her hands on her knees, just resting herself there as well.
Sheila Herrero from Roches and Natalie Barbertan do seem to be making a lot of the breaks.
They certainly do, and here we go with Roches. They're actually sort of regrouping now. Herrero, she seems to be the team captain, just getting everybody together. And I think it's very much going to be between Team Roches and Team Rollerblade today. Team Rollerblade there in the silver suits. Here we are joining the men on the 5th lap. And there's Chad Hedrick there in 3rd spot. He's got trouble. He's only got 4 wheels on his left skate, the current world champion. How will that affect the outcome of this race?
Before we go back to the marathon race action in Rome, 25-year-old Roches star Natalie Barbertan tells us how she first got into inline skating.
At 8, my father offered me my first skate. There were some quads, and I tried, and I wanted to skate immediately. And after, I didn't stop, never. After 1 year, I changed my skate and I could go faster, and perhaps the speed was a good sensation for me. My family wants the best for me. They phone me and they send me, or my brothers, my sisters send me, you have to do your best, we want for you to win the race in Rome. When you start skating, I think first of all it's easy and it's a pleasure to skate in the street, to have fun. I think everybody can skate, but for the competition it's very hard. We have to train every day, 2 times a day before the big races. Last year I've broken my knee in London, and during 1 month I couldn't skate. It was very hard. It was very, very large with a lot of water in my knee, and I have to put some ice all the time to be better. I'm sure if I hadn't been a skater, I had done one sport. I like tennis, for example. When I watch tennis on TV, I imagine me winning some match. For me and for the team, I want the team to win the Grand Prix, the final. And I want to do my best on the marathon too. Oh, sorry, I'm late. I'm ready for the interview.
We are joining the women on lap 6, and there's Barberton in 4th spot. She's been skating magnificently well the whole of this event. She's been doing a lot of work on the front as well, and I'm sure she'll be looking to impress. And there she goes, she's actually starting to make a move. Just noticing as well that Sheila Herrero, her teammate, is on the front, and probably Herrero's deliberately holding everybody back while Barberton actually makes this attack, and nothing's happening on the rollerblade front at the moment. And there we go, we've got a reaction. That's yes, that's Marion Grotto, the young 18-year-old skater from France, and she's being followed by Horgan from the USA, and then we've got Stamfleet behind her in 3rd spot from Switzerland. So they've caught Barberton. Barberton's looking quite tired, and if she's not careful, she's going to be blown out of the back here. Rollerblade really pushing up the pace. Back with the men, we've got Chad Hedrick there, just catching a bite to eat and a drink. And be careful, Chad. He almost went down there, almost face down in the cobbles.
Is that because of his missing wheel?
Yeah, it certainly won't be helping. That missing wheel will affect him, but I think it was more to do with having the drink and the bite to eat. You can see the course is extremely rough. The women's skates there are really shaking away there. And men are just passing the women. We're on lap 6 here for the men, and just sort of taking it easy, just looking around at the moment, people sort of jockeying for position. Now back with the men on lap 7, and Team Solomon in the yellow and black looking extremely strong here. They're looking like they're trying to set themselves up. That's Shane Dobbin, and Shane Dobbin is going to employ that drop technique you saw earlier on in the programme. And they're trying to drop the rest of the field, but Jorge Botero, he's an absolute animal. He's not going to let him get away. Despite having been out on the course for 50 minutes now, these skaters are still pushing pretty hard. They're skating between speeds of 30 and 40 kilometres an hour. Herrero, back with the women here. Herrero, she is looking a little tired actually now here. She is the favourite today, but she's just resting her hands on her knees there, just relaxing a little bit. And here we are back with the men. That's Team Solomon there, out in front there, and Rollerblade in the silver suits there. Jorge Botero in 2nd spot. Notice Botero has been in the top 3 throughout the race. He's obviously feeling extremely confident today.
We're looking at the women now. It's a Rochers 1, 2, 3, Herrero, Barberton and Mara.
Rochers have been extremely strong, but let's not forget Rollerblade there, close behind them, and they're not going to let them out of the sight. Back with the men on the penultimate lap. We've got Team Rollerblade there in the silver suits, but Solomon are looking extremely strong as well. I don't know what's happened to Jorge Botero. There he is. just going round now, and just looking down at the split time here, that last lap, around 6:52, so one of the slowest laps. So teams are starting to regroup now, they're starting to get together and they're thinking about that final sprint.
It's still the penultimate lap for the women. Herrero still looking quite strong, but it's the final lap now for the men. And Adam, who's your money on?
I would certainly put my money on Jorge Botero. He's looked phenomenally strong today. But we can't discount Chad Hedrick, the current world champion. I know he's only got 4 wheels on his left skate, but he's still looking very strong out there, and we've got a bit of movement. We've got about 500 metres to go here. It's Team Solomon just looking to pick up their skater on the left there. But Fila Verducci, that's Derek Downing, he's been a past world champion, just starting to lead out the current world champion, Chad Hedrick. So it looks like it's Hedrick. But no, we've got some movement on the right-hand side from Botero. Look at Botero go. He's really picked up the pace there. He's escaped away from the main pack, and he's really starting to put the hammer down. But Fila Verducci, they're starting to make a move. They're starting to pull him back in. That's Chad Hedrick. He looks like he's got up into second spot now. Look, watch at Botero. He's skating around on those smooth paving slab, and look at him. He must be doing about 45 Ks now, coming into that home straight. It doesn't look like that anybody else is going to get him back, but just looking back, it's Hedrick. It's Hedrick who's in second spot, though he's looking extremely tired. I don't think Hedrick's going to pull him back, but he's really having a go. But no, it looks like it's going to be Botero. Yes, and Botero of Rollerblade's going to win round 1. Hedrick second, and Prestia Fila Verducci third. So there is the victorious Botero, looking very happy, and so is his team manager Alan Negre, and so he should be today. Back with the women here, that's Herrero. We've only got 500 metres to go, and Herrero's been caught napping by Team Rollerblade. It's Marion Grotto. That's a bit of surprise. Where's Ashley Horgan? I think Horgan's down there in 4th or 5th spot, and Grotto's going to make a meal of this. She's only been skating for Rollerblade for a year now, and Herrero's starting to make a move around the left-hand side of Grotto, but I don't think Herrero's going to do it. She's done too much work earlier on, and it looks like Grotto's going to hold on, and she has. Grotto wins, second for Herrero and third for Mara. So it's victory for Team Rollerblade. They've won both the men's and the women's event today. A fantastic day for Team Rollerblade. Young Marion Grotto, only 18 years old. Alan Negre will be very happy with her. But what about Colombia's Jorge Botero, winner of this event last year and victorious again today?
It's a very hard circuit, but I think it's the same for everyone. So whoever won was the best, and I was the strongest this time.
We won for the men and for the women. For the men is we have a lot of pressure because we won this race last year, and if we don't win today, it's not good. But for the girls, it's the first time that we won here in Rome, and it's very, very good for us because we have a young team.
A disappointing second though for Chad Hedrick, but I'm sure he'll be able to put it down to just technical problems.
I lost a wheel during the race, so it was a little bit rougher through the rough stuff. I had 4 wheels instead of 5, and come through the last turn, just couldn't go through the corner like he could, and he got a gap. I caught a little bit on him, but I couldn't come through with the win.
So second place for Chad Hedrick, first position Jorge Botero from Rollerblade, and another Rollerblade number 1, it's Marion Grotto. So looking at the final scoreboard for the men's now, just 8 seconds separates the top 10 finishers, with Rollerblade, Fila Verducci and Salomon claiming the lion's share of the spoils. Similar success for Rollerblade in the women's results, taking 3 places out of the top 6. Sheila Herrero, after leading for over an hour, just 1 second behind victory. The fun race also proving popular here at the first event of the Play Life Grand Prix in Rome. The teams will be back in formation for the next leg in Paris. Bladerunners will be there.